Hi, this is Gabrielle Dixon from TeachingSpecialThinkers.com, and this is a quick product preview of my newest pack on Teachers Pay Teachers called Back to School Basic Skills Activity Pack for students with autism or special needs. This packet can also be used for early childhood students that are still working on those basic skills like matching and tracing, sequencing, and all those basic skills that are going to be necessary for pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. So here's a table of contents that kind of goes over all the different skills that are covered in this packet, and then I'll get right into it. So here are the matching pages. So I just have 4 pictures, and then the students would match the other 4 pictures on. You can laminate these sheets and use Velcro for them to match them on, or you could just cut all the pictures out and then just have them put them side by side. You can put it in a workbox, whatever works for you in your classroom. So there's lots of different matching sheets, and then every sheet I have in this pack has a black and white version. So if you want to send them home for independent work, homework, or if you want to use them for morning work, it's nice to have those sheets that you can copy, and then once as soon as masters go, you can put in their work boxes. So I always like to include black and white as well because we've got to save that ink. So here's some of the vocabulary cards. At the beginning of the year, I really think that school supplies are great vocabulary starter because you want students to know what scissors are, what a pencil is, what glue is, what a book is. So these cards I would use at teacher time and do a lot of expressive and receptive language activities. I do have some students that are nonverbal, so I would just lay them all out, point to chair, point to desk, and that is assuming that the student can point. If they cannot point, you might just have to do a gesture, something like that, but it's definitely good to build up that language, and you might even want to use some real objects, such as real pencils, real scissors, real book, real glue, for students that just need those concrete models. And here are, in every pack I have some vocabulary pages. These are for functional spelling, so the students can match up the pieces to spell the word, to match the letters to spell the word. And then there's also sheets where the students can either just spell the word in the boxes or they can still match up the letters. I always send home a page that tells parents what our words are for the month, and then there are some practice pages you can send home for those students that are writers. For students that are pre-writers, I do have some things included in this pack because it is important for them to practice writing. So what I do is I laminate these onto pretty durable cardstock, and then I have students either use a dry erase crayon or markers to practice tracing daily. And then there's lots of other sheets on here that include writing and writing in a line and tracing. And then we do have some cutting activity cards for students that are still working on cutting. Here's some sequencing activities that you can put in a workbox or in a file folder activity, so sequencing by size. And then of course there's a black and white version. And then smallest and largest is a big skill I like to work on in my class. So here's some sheets where they just circle the smallest object, circle the largest object, and then there's black and white versions of those as well. And then we get into sorting. Students love to sort in autism classrooms. And it's a great skill for them to have as well. So here's lots of different sorting pages. You can do these as a file folder activity or in a workbox, just sorting big and little. And then we have some sorting by color. So matching the colors of the scissors, and then I have books. More and less is another great skill I like to work on. So just circle the one that shows more or less of the object. Patterns. Here are some sequencing of numbers, so students that are able to count and write numbers, or you can write the numbers for them and they can just tell you what number it is. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they don't flow throughout because I really just tried to go 0 to 20. And here's some counting by 5s, counting by 10s, counting in general, just counting some objects and matching up the number. Sequencing of the alphabet. Now these 3 pages do run through the alphabet A to Z, and the students just fill in the missing letters. And these are some of my favorite sheets. These are the graphs that I include. So they're pictorial graphs. Students would count how many scissors do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then they would write 10. Which item has the most? Which item has the least? A little bit advanced, but the good thing about these packs are that I do the same activities in each pack. I just kind of change up the vocabulary that are used. So students really become independent with what to do when you give them the sheet. So, it kind of cuts down on that barrier of directions, because some of our students really have trouble learning how to do an activity. It's not that they don't have the skill, it's just that they don't know how to do the activity. So I like to start off and do a lot of teacher modeling at the beginning of the year, and then students really understand, when they see this sheet, they know to answer these questions using this chart. So it's great for building independence. So there's lots of different charts. And then we get into time, and these I just laminate them, cut them, and then the students just match the clock up to the time. Put them on a little key ring. And then of course there's an activity page, time to the half hour. And then we get into money. So my students don't have, they're not able to count mixed change yet. So I do have them count just like pennies. And then there's some activity pages, students that can count by ones, of course. And then we get into nickels, students that can count by fives, dimes, students that can count by tens. And then this is one of my favorite activities included in this pack, and this can be for addition, subtraction, and also just counting. I have these cards that you would laminate on durable cardstock and put Velcro on these and then Velcro on these, and then students can just match up one pencil. So show me one pencil, they get one pencil, put it on here. It's very good for building that counting skill. And then when students have that, you can start building onto addition and subtraction, and you can still use these cards since they're used to them, and you can use these cards to build problems up. And then 6 plus 5, students would put 5 little pieces, then 6 little pieces, and take them all off and put them after the equal sign. You can make something that they put them all on, and then they just count them to show that 6 plus 5 equals something. 11. So here are some word problems. Now what I would like to do is I put Velcro pieces on here. So I would put 2 Velcro pieces, and then the students would put 2 pencils. She gave 1 pencil away, so they would take 1 off, and that would show that 1 pencil is left. Okay, in the end, I always include a little reader in these packs. So this one's called Back to School, and it's just using that language that they're learning all throughout the pack, throughout the month. And they can, you can make several copies of this. They can take one home. They can read it in a group. And it's really something that they can use to practice, and it also builds some sight word knowledge. So I have I think Anne's in here, so that's a great way to build some sight word language. All right, thank you. This is a product preview of my newest pack, Basic Skills for Back to School. And here is my website if you need any other information or strategies to use. And here's my Teachers Pay Teachers store where you can locate this pack. And special thanks to all the people that helped me make this pack through their clip art and their fonts.